Well, we are back again for another Phat Guys at the Movies at Frank Theaters in Conway, South Carolina. I'm Ken.
I'm Oliver.
And I want you to know I have my favorite movie shirt on today.
This is the
I love this shirt.
Of Vader here.
Yes, yes.
Which is angry, happy, sad. As you can see, most of them are the same.
I personally like the confused one.
That's the problem for the cheerful. I like the cheerful. Cheerful, why? He's showing his teeth.
That's right, right. But this is my favorite movie shirt. You know, you gotta wear them every once in a while.
This is my favorite Snuggie. I just cut an extra hole in the top, and here I am.
Yeah. Well, you just got through watching Snitch with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Of course, he doesn't use The Rock much anymore. Except
not in this movie, but he will use The Rock in some other movies.
Yeah, probably G.I. John.
G.I. John.
G.I. John on purpose.
And we saw the trailer for the new Fast.
Yeah,
Six movie. Can we call it Fast Six?
Fast Six.
Fast
That's
Six
what it is.
movie.
Fast and Furious.
We saw the trailer for that.
Looks good.
Looks more the same, but I will give it to him. Not a big fan of race car movies and so forth, but the last two, well done.
Yeah.
They redeemed themselves.
This one looks like it's right up there
going to have
with
some
Fast
crazy
5.
stuff in it, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You just got to watch the trailer and see it. But good cast. Barry Pepper's in it. Susan Sarandon, and the guy that plays Shane from that played Shane from The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
played Shane.
Yeah.
I heard he's making a comeback this season. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Must be digging up the old bones.
We'll figure that one out. But we're here to review Snitch, and now hear what we think about Dwayne Johnson's contribution to the action thrillers of January and February.
You know what? This is not really a pure action movie. This was more of a story-driven movie.
Yeah.
So there were really, how much action did we actually get into? Not a lot.
Not a lot, but it had, when the action got into it, had some good action.
It was, but it was, I will say, it was tastefully done. But I wouldn't lump this into an action movie.
Right.
I wouldn't call that. I would call this more than drama.
Yeah.
Thing. So
here's Snitch. Well, I went to see this one and not really know what to expect because, Dwayne Johnson's recently had his foray with Walt Disney, and he had some pretty good pictures with Disney, and did a really good job with that. Not really known for his acting, but I'm going to give this one kudos. Excellent, well done, well thought out, well paced story. It is based on true events, and those usually have a really good story to them, and this is no exception. The story moved along in a good pace so that you never got bored, you never got tired of the story. It had so many different angles coming from it, and for Dwayne Johnson, I'm going to have to say this was probably his best acting role. Now, that's not saying a lot, considering this is Dwayne Johnson, but for him, this was a very good acting role from him. He was believable in the part. I would have liked to seen a little more emotion at times, but he was very believable in the part of a dad who was trying to help his kid, who basically got a bum rap when it comes to a prison sentence that he was receiving. Susan Sarandon played the United States Attorney Prosecutor of his son, and she can play a witch with a capital B better than anybody that's been in moviedom, and she was a witch with a capital B in this one also, and you'll have to see the movie to see exactly why, because she was a big-time witch. But she did a good job in her part, and then Barry Pepper, probably one of the better actors, better character actors that's out there right now. You remember him from Saving Private Ryan. He was just recently in a miniseries called The Kennedys. Broken City, which just came out earlier this year, he was in that. Barry Pepper had a little different role in this one. He was the hard-nosed, street DEA guy, and he pulled it off brilliantly. Brilliantly. Not just believable, but true to the fact. Benjamin Bratt makes his big screen comeback, and I'll tell you, he was the head of the cartel, and Benjamin Bratt, any part that he plays, he is spectacular in it, and this is no exception. But this movie is well done, enjoyable, has some good action in it when there is some action, has a good solid story, keeps you going. I'm going 3.5 on this one, bordering on 4. Matter of fact, I'm going to upgrade it one more. I'm going to go 3 3/4 on this. It's not quite a 4, but it is well worth seeing, and it's probably at the top of the line of the drama action thrillers of this year so far.
After watching this movie tonight, I have to say there's a lot more that was good about this movie than that was bad. Some of the pros Ken just spoke about. Benjamin Bratt, Barry Pepper, Susan Sarandon. I could say that the supporting cast of this movie is definitely a strong point. I hesitate to call this an action movie, so don't come in here expecting Sylvester Stallone movie and the stuff we've watched earlier and the stuff you've seen come out in January, February. I would say this is more of a drama than anything, and it's more about, you know, a lot of the emotions and things that come out with the family when you have a family member in a bad situation. A lot of time is spent on that. The real action comes at the end, and it's nicely done, very realistically. So that I did like. There's not a lot of action, but when it is, it's very realistic, very believable. That being said, there's one thing that detracts from the movie. The Rock himself. I think it's great he's out there trying to expand his acting universe and get into more serious movies. But I felt that he took away from a lot of that. There's a lot of deadpan parts in acting in there in The Rock. Don't know if he's quite ready for these really emotional type roles where you really have to get into it and act and, you know, get into method acting and so forth. But that being said, this is actually a pretty decent movie. There's more to it than just action and so forth. It's actually got a really solid story. And I saw one review earlier today that described it as the plot was like a TV movie of the week. Well, yeah, TV movie of the weeks are that way, but this is a lot better. This is not anything close to a Lifetime movie or any of that. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. Had The Rock actually took some more acting lessons before this, I would have went up. He's the worst acting job of the movie. The supporting cast, the actual story, it's worth going out and checking out at the theater, so I'll give it 3 out of 5. I had to try it.
I'm behind the camera watching.
I'm not going to use it in the review, but when he started filming me, I did a Christopher Walken.
Maybe
I'll throw it in on the credits. I'll throw it in on the credits. Stick to the credits. You'll see my Christopher Walken impersonation.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah. Christopher Walken. If you happen to watch this, he really didn't mean it. Okay,
it was bad, but I had to try. Okay, everybody's doing it now. I had to try. So I says to the guy, "I've got all this money from the drugs, you know, and you've got a truck. So you drive and we'll see."
Anyway, so 3 3/4 from me, 3 from Oliver for Snitch, and I agree with you. The Rock was the weakest link.
The weak link was the main actor.
For him, it was his best role
yet.
You
know what?
And he did, you know, with his limited acting ability, he did a decent job.
I think he ought to go out there and do a couple of more of these movies. You're only going to get better at doing it.
Yeah.
By just going out and doing it. Watch Bang the Drum Slowly. Was De Niro a masterful actor in that? No, but he kept doing it.
But he kept doing it. Right. Yeah. So The Rock's got a future and stuff like this. So
hopefully so. Right.
Give him that one. Next week we have a movie that has been delayed for an entire year.
That's always scary in the movie business.
A year ago it came out as Jack the Giant Killer.
Now it is
Jack the Giant Slayer.
Why not Killer rather than Slayer? Why change the one word?
I don't know, but it was supposed to come out March of last year. It's coming out March of this year, and this year it's going to be Jack the Giant Slayer. I can't remember what the kid's name is, but it does have a possibility of drawing some good audiences because the guy who stars in it also starred in Warm Bodies, which did real well, and was actually a very good movie.
I know that kid. He's good. He's a warm body.
Except he's not a zombie this time. Until we see it, maybe he acts like a zombie. We don't know.
Well, it's to be seen. I believe this is directed by, was it Ang Lee?
Brian Singer. Brian Singer.
Who did the first 3 X-Men.
Right.
And
good
Singer
director.
he did Superman Returns.
Yes.
Which I know all you people didn't like Superman Returns because you didn't go out and buy tickets for it. I did.
It was all right.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I like Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. I like it.
Yeah, Brandon Roth was a little weak as Superman, but still, it was a Superman movie.
You know what?
It was decent.
He didn't need to be strong. Lex Luthor, that character was strong.
And it had John Williams music in it. How could you beat that?
I digged it. I didn't know what happened, but anyways, we're getting a reboot soon.
Yeah,
so
getting a reboot soon. And considering the size of the Phat Guys, it's got a giant in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat ya.
D5 full thumb. Whatever that means.
Whatever. Probably means dinner's at 2.
So, we watch Snitch this week. Next week, it'll be Jack the Giant Slayer. Tune in next week for the Phat Guys at the movies as we slay the giant.
Right.
Is that good for dramatics there?
I think it's better than my Christopher Walken.
Academy Awards are coming up this weekend. We got to get the giant and the dramatics in there.
Okay, we'll go with that.
And the Oscar goes to anybody else again.
Right.
All right. I'm Ken.
I'm Oliver.
See you next week.